Hello, welcome back to the History Geek Teacher vlog, episode number 34. Today I'm going to talk about being in Omaha last week at the NETA conference and meeting a hero. Thanks so much for joining us here on the vlog. I've spent a little bit time away from the vlog over the last week or so, getting back on track, and wanted to talk about the conference that I went to last week in Omaha, Nebraska, the NETA conference, NETA, the Nebraska Educational Technology Association. It is a great conference. This past year they had about 2,500 people, celebrated their 30th year. I've been attending the conference for roughly about 20 years. Great speakers, great sessions, a lot of great networking. So if you have not attended the NETA conference in the past, go ahead and check that out. It is every year in April, and right now it is in downtown Omaha at the CenturyLink Center. So they have a great venue, a great place to have a conference. Go ahead and check it out. Highly, highly recommend it. At the NETA conference this year, I did an Ignite session on OER, Open Educational Resources, and I also did a poster session on drones in the classroom. And I want to spend a little bit of time in the next couple of weeks talking about drones in the classroom and how we've been using them in an educational setting. But today I really wanted to focus on one memorable event that happened on the second day of the conference, Friday. I was able to meet one of my educational heroes, Hadi Partovi. Friday morning, Hadi started off the NETA conference with a keynote presentation. Now, if you're not familiar with his work, he is the person behind the entire code.org and the Hour of Code movement. So if you have received any emails in the past couple of years talking about Hour of Code, you've received an email from him. If you are doing anything with code.org in your classroom with your students, if any of your students have used code.org to learn a computer language or just kind of dip their toe a little bit in the water of coding, that is his work there. So he did a presentation, a keynote presentation, really talking about the importance of coding and not so much that it's just to give students a gateway to a job, although that's definitely a benefit. He also talked about just the general importance. He mentioned a couple of times, we don't teach English, for example, with the specific intent that everyone that graduates is going to have a job in speaking English. There's going to be other ways you're going to use that and incorporate it and kind of fold it into different parts of your life. So he did a great job of talking about that during the keynote. And then an amazing thing happened after the keynote. After the keynote, there was this tremendous line of teachers lined up to get a picture with him. Now, this is kind of reminded me of the commercial you may have seen with Millie the scientist, the famous female scientist, and there's people around the world that have her picture, and there's magazine articles about her, and people are running up, and there's paparazzi and all those kinds of things. In many ways, it was kind of like that moment. So it was really neat to see someone that's given back a lot to the educational world. If you know his story at all, he grew up in Iran, learned how to code on a Commodore 64, the same machine that I first started to use when I was about 12 or 13 years old. Went to Harvard, got his computer science degree, was very successful in the business world, and now he wants to try and encourage students to learn how to code. So I stood in line and I actually had my iPad, and so I asked him to sign my iPad. He said he's never signed an iPad before, so that was kind of cool. And then one of the reasons that he is a hero to me is I have two daughters that love to code. I've got a third grade daughter, Scarlett, and then I've got a seventh grade daughter, Addison, and they both love to code. In fact, Addison, when she has spare time, typically what you'll find her doing on the couch, kind of curled up, is working on Scratch. She also does things in Minecraft, which isn't exactly coding, but is very similar. She's doing coding and composing music many times. So she has really been encouraged to learn how to code, and I credit that a lot with code.org. She began to use the Hour of Code in school several years ago. That was really her introduction point to learning how to code. And so the fact that he was able to create that and then has allowed my daughters to be able to at least see a glimpse of that world. And I have no idea if they're going to code when they grow up, and that's going to be what they do, but I do have a general feeling that probably something that they will do in their lives is going to relate back to that coding experience. So at the end of having him sign my iPad, I did have him record a really short message for my daughters.
Hi Addie and hi Scarlett. I'm so excited to hear about how much you're coding, and please stick with it. It's awesome. You rock.
So when I got home, I showed that to both Scarlett and Addison, and they were really excited to see it. I talked to Addison the night before and told her that I'd be able to see him that next morning at the keynote, and she was super excited. So it's kind of a geeky father-daughter moment there, but really respect the work that he's done, and just thank him for really everything he's done to open this world up to so many students, especially girls, because I think that there's still kind of that stigma, and I want my daughters to know that if they want to code, if they want to be in computer science as a job when they grow up, that's definitely a possibility. So that was one of my highlights from NETA. There were some great sessions. I had some great conversations, but that was really one takeaway moment that really kind of made my day on Friday at NETA in Omaha. So that's a wrap, kind of a short vlog this time. If you have any questions, you can go to our webpage, www.historygeekteacher.com. I have my contact information on the page as well if you'd like to contact me. And as always, remember, history is so much more than just a bunch of boring old dead guys. Until next time, bye.